Alright guys, so I just got back from work and I'm about to go watch the Demon Slayer film, if you can call it that, because from what I've heard, it's like literally just 3 episodes and they put that in theaters. You even get the end credit scenes, which is kind of crazy. Never seen that happen before, but anyways, I'm about to go see that in about 30 minutes or so, and I want to film my manga reading log for like the past ever since October pretty much. So that's been October, November, December, January, and February. That is 5 months worth of manga, guys. And my stack, not the biggest. I'm definitely not the type to read hundreds of manga per month. I generally, I read what I can pretty much. I have a pretty busy schedule. I work, I do the whole YouTube stuff. I also stream on Twitch, and that's been taking up a lot of time. But yeah, mostly just work has been super busy, especially this past month. I had this huge project. Thankfully, I am close to being complete, but there were days where I had to pretty much stay until like 10 p.m., 9 p.m. trying to get stuff done. And so it really didn't give me much time to read manga. So February was a really bad month. I will show you guys everything that I read for February. But yeah, hopefully moving forward, I'm able to read more. But let's go ahead and get into this because like I said, I don't have too much time to film this. We're just gonna kind of do a rapid fire thing. But for February, the only manga that I read was Summertime Rendering Volume 1 or Omnibus 1. So this was my challenge to read in the month of February. I was supposed to read volumes 1 through 3, but I was only able to get through volume 1. But I will say volume 1, this omnibus, was actually, oh, and look at that. I'm using the sloth bookmark. Very handy, those things. But yeah, I really did enjoy this series. It was actually a pretty dark read, especially by the end of Omnibus 1. Some pretty crazy stuff happens in this island that they're on. And I'm actually very curious how the anime handles that, because I can see this kind of being more of like a horror anime, especially that last couple of chapters in this omnibus. Pretty scary stuff happening here, but this is a supernatural manga and I love supernatural stuff, so this was right up my alley. And it was about this character right here, whose name I forgot, but he's the main guy in the front cover here. He goes to visit his hometown because one of his siblings, because I think he was orphaned and her family took him in, so they kind of grew up together. But from what I've seen, he kind of had a crush on her growing up. Yeah, look at the cover. I don't blame him. But anyways, she ended up passing away. So he goes back home to the funeral, and then he quickly finds out that there is more to this girl's death right here than meets the eye, and things start to get pretty crazy. And so we kind of follow him as he tries to solve the murder of this girl every time he dies. But yeah, I really did enjoy this one. Like I said, the ending got super crazy here, and I'm actually curious where the rest of the series goes, because I can definitely see it getting repetitive if it keeps repeating the same day. I don't know if they're gonna keep doing that gimmick, but I can say as of right now with this omnibus, I am on board, and I'm gonna be using March basically to catch up, finish this series, and then move on to other series in April. All right, now moving into January. January was actually a very good month. I started off the year very strong, reading a bunch of volumes, way more than I think I've read in the past. So I was really looking forward to 2023, and then February I just messed everything all up. But let's go over the stuff that I read in January. This one right here, this one is possibly my favorite read of the year so far, and it is The Imminence of Shadow. I read volumes 1 and volume 2, which I thought was hilarious because in Prof Otaku's reading log, he's already up to volume 5, and in his video he says,
we have Eminence in Shadow volumes 4 and 5. This finishes my buddy read with Elite Collector.
And that just had me laughing my ass off because I'm still on volume 2. I was supposed to read volumes 3 to 5 in February, but that didn't happen. So I'm pretty behind on this, not only this, but also on Yona of the Dawn, which, do I have that here? I actually don't have that here, but I also read Yona of the Dawn Volume 1. That was actually a very enjoyable shoujo. I really enjoyed Volume 1. I read it digitally alongside Marguerite's manga, Shay Geeks Out, and Prof Otaku during one of their reading blogs. I'm definitely excited to continue that one as well. I need to catch up on that, this, and Summertime Rendering this month, and then as well, I am also going to be buddy reading Yu-Gi-Oh!
It's time to do.
But back to Imminence of the Shadow. Freaking love this thing. Everything about it was awesome. I loved the artwork. I loved the characters, especially the main character. I think is pretty hilarious. He's he wants to be pretty much this eminence of in the shadow is what he calls it, which is pretty much being the strongest character there is, but not nobody knowing about him. Pretty much he wants to keep it secret. Life goal was pretty much to survive a nuclear bomb if that were to ever happen, but within the first couple of chapters he ends up dying, I believe from a truck-kun strikes again. And then he's reincarnated in this new world, and he continues to want to be this eminence in the shadows. So basically from a young age he's trained to be this super strong being, and he actually kind of accomplishes that. It's actually pretty cool in this new world. He's able to impress a few waifus right here. He pretty much has a harem going on, and it's pretty funny because he keeps on spouting nonsense about this demon king, and every time everything that he says ends up actually occurring in this fantasy world that he's been reincarnated in. So I find that to be pretty hilarious, and just overall the manga actually made me laugh quite a bit. So it has a little bit of everything. It has comedy, it has action, it's fantasy, a harem, and the artwork on top of all of that stuff is beautiful in this series. So yeah, definitely one of my top reads of the year, if not my favorite read so far. I honestly don't know how I stopped at volume 2, so I'm definitely gonna catch up. I don't have volume 5, so I need to buy that one. I need to find it. But yeah, definitely gonna catch up in this month of March. Another volume I read in January, which definitely brought up the heat, is volume 4 of Who Wants to Marry a Billionaire. I read by volume 3, it was starting to lose its steam a little bit. Yeah, I guess the last character that we were learning their backstory just wasn't as interesting, but for this volume right here, volume 4, we did get to learn this character's on the cover's backstory. And her backstory was pretty hardcore, to say the least. So yeah, I very much enjoyed volume 4, and this just continues to be one of those Ghost Ship titles that I really do enjoy. One of my favorite ones that I'm reading currently from Ghost Ship. So if you guys are into Ghost Ship, I would definitely recommend this one right here. Moving on, I'll get these out of the way right here. We got Something Is Wrong With Us, volume 1, The King's Beast, volume 1, and Lovesick Ellie volume 1. This was when I was trying to get into shoujo in the beginning of January. These are 3 volumes that Margs Reads Manga gifted to me, and I actually have a first impressions on these volumes in my channel. So if you guys want to see what I think about them, go check that out. But out of these 3, my favorite was definitely The King's Beast. I need to pick up more of this because I really did enjoy this volume 1. And then my biggest read in January was Dead Man Wonderland. I finished the complete series. Loved it. I highly recommend you guys check this one out if you haven't. I also know at least a few people that have this in their collections but have never read it. So if you fall in that category, I definitely suggest taking this out of your shelves and reading it ASAP, because it was definitely a good, nice short story. It concludes in 13 volumes, which isn't too bad. You can definitely get this through this within a month, because I did, and it was a great ride. Again, I do have a video review of this series on my channel, so if you guys want to hear more of my thoughts, go check out that video. If I remember, I will leave a card somewhere up here for that. But yeah, I really did enjoy this one. Plus, I love the spines. I love the black and white alternating spines. I'm kind of glad that I enjoyed this series, because if I didn't, I would have to sell it off, and I want a collection of like black and white spines, and I don't want to sell off any series that have black and white spines. So hopefully I enjoy every one of my series that have black and white spines. I know I'm kind of weird, but I just think it looks good on the shelf. All right, these next 2, I can't recall if I read them in January or in December, but I actually think I read these in January. So yeah, like I said, I read a lot of stuff in January, guys. But we got Gigant. I actually really enjoyed both of these, by the way. But Gigant, a lot of people were kind of mixed on the ending. I personally didn't have a big issue with it. There's only one issue that I have with it, and it kind of just has to do with the whole idea of time travel. And I know everybody has different takes when it comes to time travel, but in my opinion, the way that they handled it here doesn't really make sense. But if you just kind of forget about that, don't put too much thought on how time travel works, it works. The ending works, and I was personally happy with the way that it ended. Yeah, for me, Gigant, solid series, very much enjoyed it from beginning to end, and I hope we get an anime someday. I think this would be a pretty cool one to have as an anime, although I doubt it'll ever happen, because we would just have a naked girl in every single episode, which yeah, there's not many anime that do that other than like High School DxD, but that never came back. And then The Witches of Adamas, again, I continue to enjoy this one as well from Ghost Ship. And man, you know what? This one was also really good. So far, I don't think I've said anything negative for any of the manga that I've read, but I do have some coming up that I wasn't a big fan of, but this one, out of everything that I've showed off so far, this one definitely earns its mature rating. The MC here continues to be a savage, going all the way with like multiple women in this series, but there was some drama introduced in this specific volume between our two love interests, and I'm actually very interested to see what happens with them in the future volumes. So yeah, definitely can't wait to see where this series goes. If it continues in this trajectory, man, this is a true nasty man manga right here. Alright guys, just got out of the theater, and the physics during that hot spring scene, nice. It was really good, but joking aside, I really liked that episode that we got to see. I'm glad that I got to see it early. Yes, the credits for every episode was kind of annoying, but I already knew what I was coming into. I can see why some people that weren't expecting that might be disappointed, but what I got to see, I was really happy with, especially the upper rank demons meeting. I thought that was definitely the standout of this whole experience. Seeing that in theaters, I'm definitely glad that I got to see that in theaters. So if you guys love Demon Slayer, I'd suggest watching that scene alone is worth the theater experience, in my opinion. So yeah, that's my quick little review. I enjoyed it, can't wait for the new season, and I'll see you guys back home and we'll continue my manga reading log. Guys, so we're gonna finish the rest of this manga reading log in this guest bedroom, because in the office there actually a new guest moved into the room that is adjacent to the office. So if I start making a lot of noise, I kind of feel bad. So yeah, I don't know, not many videos gonna be recording late anymore, so I don't know how that's gonna work out, but let's keep going. So I guess now we're moving into December, and in December didn't read much, just 3 volumes, and they're all from 7 Seas. The first one we've already talked about, volume 9 of Gigant, so I'm not going to mention anything about this one since I already talked about it, but enjoyed it. You guys should definitely check that out. And then we got Do You Like Big Girls volume 5. At this point, I would just consider this one to be sort of like a slice of life of just us following all these characters along. Every chapter is pretty episodic. You just kind of have something going on with one of the girls, but I will say this is one of the more enjoyable episodic manga that I enjoy. Haven't dropped it yet, still enjoying it, but this one definitely probably towards the bottom of the list as far as like ghost ship titles go, but it's still a lot of fun. So yeah, I'm still gonna continue to pick this series up. And then the other one is You Like Me, Not My Daughter. This one is actually not ghost ship, it's just 7 Seas, and yeah, this one is very much more like vanilla type ecchi series where mostly everything is censored out. But I will say, I think it's kind of cute. I know Mommy Weeb hates this one. She went on a whole rant because of that bathtub scene between her and a young boy. And while yes, it was pretty weird, like you should definitely not do that with a kid, whether you're a male or a female. But if you can get past that, I actually think this one was pretty cute. Especially the last chapter kind of got me because I loved seeing her in cosplay, and she was a collector. I think she said she has a Blu-ray collection, and I was just like, heck yeah, we got a MILF collector right here. So yeah, I'm gonna probably pick up maybe 2 more volumes, give it a 3-volume roll for this one. From what I read in volume 1, I did pretty much enjoy it, so I'm gonna continue that one. And then that was it for December. Man, you know what? I feel like I'm forgetting something here. Because all I have left is my October reads, my spooky reads, which I meant to do a reading log in October because I wanted to go over just all of the horror manga that I had read. I definitely feel like something is missing, but at this point, I'm trying to look around to see if I got anything around here. No, we're just gonna go with it. We're gonna jump to October, and one of the first series that I wanted to read in October, and I wanted to get through more of this series, but we got Alice and Murderland. Man, I love these hardcover editions, but I didn't love this manga. As I definitely thought I was gonna love it more. It was okay, but for some reason, as I was reading this one, I was just kind of forcing myself, and I hate it when I start to do that with manga. The premise is something that would seem to be like right up my alley. We got a battle royale between a family of orphans. So we got this rich family that adopted all of these kids, and once they reached a certain age, they decided that they're only one of them can inherit all of the family's fortune. And each one of these kids also has like a hidden persona within them. And with our main character here, Alice, which her name is actually something else. Yeah, so her name is Stella, but her alternate personality is called Bloody Alice. And when she transforms into this character, she just transforms into this badass blonde chick right here with guns. And yeah, she just starts killing shit whenever she transforms into Alice. But so yeah, it sounds cool. And I did enjoy some portions of this manga, but like I said, just some sections were kind of tough for me to get through. And I don't know why, because when I think about it, and I was flipping through the pages right now, some of the stuff that happens in the manga is actually pretty crazy, and I did enjoy those parts of the manga. So I'm not gonna give up on it. I think I'm gonna continue it. I know I just stopped at volume 3 back in October, but I need to pick it back up at some point, because just looking through the pages, it's actually not as bad. Maybe I just wasn't in a reading mood that month, I don't know. But the artwork is pretty cool. I definitely do love, like, I think Alice looks badass, and some artwork in here looks pretty cool as well. Although I will say, it does have like a shoujo-esque type artwork for the most part, where a lot of the backgrounds are all white. They do focus more on the characters' backgrounds, not so much as I'm flipping through the pages. So yeah, the artwork could be better, but maybe that's one of the reasons that I wasn't enjoying it. I don't know, but yeah, I'm gonna give it a second shot. I'm gonna read some more volumes later, not anytime soon, but yeah, not getting rid of it just yet, especially because I love these hardcovers. I think they look really great. Next up in October, oh man, this one right here, I've talked about it already. I was on Nerdy Girls Creates Otaku Tuesday once, talking about our least favorite reads of last year, 2022, and this was towards the top of my list. I don't remember if it was number 1, but Uzumaki. I gave Junji Ito another shot with this one. I didn't really like what was the other one that I read? Dissolving Classroom? No. Yeah, I think it was Dissolving Classroom. Wasn't a big fan of it. I heard Uzumaki was like his best work, so I thought maybe I would enjoy this one, but nah. Overall, I thought it was pretty mid. The artwork is the only saving grace for it. Yes, I can acknowledge that the artwork is pretty great, but I don't know, man. To me, every chapter still felt a little bit episodic, and I wasn't too into the story. Didn't really care what was gonna happen to the characters. So yeah, I will be getting rid of this one. So if anybody wants this one, hit me up. I can go ahead and sell it to you for a cheap price. Okay, now I definitely know that I'm missing something in this manga reading log, because I have volume 1 of Vampires here, which I think I already talked about in a separate reading vlog, but I know I read volume 2. I have it somewhere. I just don't know where it is right now. But Vampires is a Yuri manga between a vampire and just a normal human. And I will say, I'm not a big fan of Yuri, but I think this is the most enjoyable Yuri that I've read. But that being said, still in like that 5 to 6 rating for me. I wouldn't rate it all that high. I think I'm gonna give this one 3 volumes, because like I said, it is pretty cute, and I do like myself some vampires. So we'll see how I feel about this one once we get to volume 3, and then I will decide if I want to continue it or just go ahead and drop it and sell this one off. And then finally we get to Devil Ecstasy, a manga by Shuzo Oshimi. You guys know how I feel about Shuzo Oshimi. Love most of his stuff. The only stuff that I haven't enjoyed have been his some of his one-shots, the shorter ones. But this is definitely not a one-shot, as you guys can see right here. This is a thick boy. This is the second and final omnibus for this series, Devil Ecstasy. And this was a crazy ride, guys. This is Shuzo Oshimi's take on Succubus, and it gets pretty crazy. The death toll in this manga alone is like really high. I was surprised by the end how many people were dying. But yeah, for me, this was another good Shuzo Oshimi manga. I really enjoyed it. So yeah, guys, with that, I think that's gonna conclude my past 5 months reading vlog. I know I'm missing a few things, but I think I captured most of what I read. You guys can tell that I didn't read much. Honestly, everything that I read in 5 months is what manga tubers generally read within 1 month. but I'm not trying to compete with anyone. I just love reading manga, and I read it whenever I have time, so that's what I would suggest you guys to do. As I said earlier, I don't like it when I have to force myself to get through a manga, because I think when it gets to that point, that's when I kind of take a break from manga. Maybe that's why I have nothing for November, because just getting through Alice in Borderland was kind of hard for me, and it got me into a reading slump. But yeah, I'm already starting to read more in March, so hopefully I can keep it up. As I said, for March, I'll be reading Summertime Rendering, Eminence in the Shadow, Yona of the Dawn, and Yu-Gi-Oh! So there won't be any voting going on for this month. I'm gonna try to focus on those series, but for April, I will put up another video and let you guys vote for what you guys want me to read. But yeah, guys, with that, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if you haven't already. And I will see you guys in the next video.